Hello, everybody. You're watching another episode of Winston Walks. My name is Winston. I take walks. We're here today in Toronto, soon to be the 51st state. We're at Bay and Granville here in downtown Toronto. This is the Nando's Chicken. I did a short where we ate there recently and I posted it. So if you folks are wondering, this is what it looks like. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday. It's here in December, and let's take a walk here. I'm gonna show you a little bit of the Women's College Hospital here. They renovated it.
Like a good ride?
Here we go. Lots happening in Canada. Let's see. From an economics perspective, we got a 50 basis point cut from the Bank of Canada. However, they grew more cautious in terms of their assessment of future rate rate cuts. So just keep that in mind. Granted, their preference obviously is always for quarter points. I think for every central banker, quarter point is more steady. Gives you time to assess the economy and see how things are going. 50s, it's kind of basically you never want to panic, right? In Canada, when inflation was really raging, they really pushed the pedal. Probably needed to slow down inflation. Like everywhere, inflation was pretty high. Right now, it still is. Frankly, prices are still elevated, and like I mentioned in previous videos, prices of even just everyday items are actually still going up. So it'll be interesting to see. I know in the U.S., Powell's going to make his decision soon. He's going to have a much tougher one with Donald Trump coming back into office. Most likely he's going to deregulate. He's going to cut taxes. There is sort of that animal spirits effect where, people feel better economically and, they want to actually spend more, right? So he's going to have a harder time. The loonie is just getting trashed. Some of you obviously know, I collect sports cards and collectibles, and a lot of the time, they're priced in US dollars. How I usually need to buy them, in the States, from the States, and I'll tell you right now, wow, we're just our looney's just getting trashed. It's pretty bad. So it's the weekend right now, just so you folks know. That's why it's so quiet here. But the looney's just getting trashed right now. What's also interesting with mortgage rates in Canada, people necessarily, I guess they don't necessarily appreciate the degree of how much our economies, the U.S. and Canada's economies, are linked. But our mortgage rates here, so the variable has gone down, obviously, by the 50 beeps that they cut. However, the fixed, the 5-year fix. So remember, in Canada, we don't have a 25-year or a 30-year like in the States. What we have is we go basically fixed terms. Usually 5 is the most common, right? And so with that, the 5-year, it's based on the bond yield, the 5-year bond yield. That has actually been going up. A lot of people who've been waiting for rates to go down have now actually started seeing them go up. And again, from a previous video, it's because the inflation expectations. If you look at commodity prices, I do follow them. There are other areas where I trade and it's based on those commodity prices. Prices are starting to really go up now. That's why when I heard 3 to 5%, they're talking about food prices going up in 2025. I think they are mistakenly wrong. Obviously, going to the supermarkets now. These are government buildings, by the way. These are provincial government buildings. A lot of construction. The inflation rate is actually a lot higher in terms of food prices. There's the other part of the hospital here. That's Bay Street. What is also interesting is another issue like with Canada is our economy here is so dependent on real estate. Like especially here, I'm in Toronto, and from an economics perspective, you understand as well that if the economy just relies on people buying houses and renting them out, in terms of our productivity, it's just crashed, right? So, Canada's productivity has crashed for several reasons. Too many to cover here, but basically, one part of it is the fact that, people are just buying houses, taking that capital, buying a home and just renting it out. So, it's not being used in terms of a small business to create jobs, etc., right? And that has hurt Canada's productivity. Rightly or wrongly, I know people have the right to do what they want with their money, but I think the direction that we've as a country have been kind of pushing capital, and also a lot of capital has fled the country because tax rates are high. They're incredibly high here, especially here in Ontario and Toronto. And they're just going to keep going up with, if you have property, definitely property taxes. The fact that there's natural inflation is going to push your income, etc. And then also, for instance, if you're an investor, capital gains over 250 here, 250,000. The inclusion rate is now 66% versus the 50, which is pushes again is a natural push up in terms of rates, but also that also frustrates larger investment pools, from of cash going into and investing in the economy, right? And then also. Fortunately for us, we don't have enough doctors, etc. And from their own, business practices, like as a small business owner, that also, detracts, makes things less desirable to actually, stay here in Canada. So this is Bay and Grosvenor. So I basically just walked around the block. So that's why, in terms of, I'm going to cross here. That's why, in terms of the structure is not favorable, but also with the rate cut, it's not really. The problem is it's not doing what it's intended to do, and this is where stagflation also comes in. It's not something I've actually talked about yet, but if you look it up, it's stagnant growth with inflation in the economy, and you can almost state that that's in our system, and also it really is a two-tiered system where folks with a lot of assets are going to benefit from this because they're basically reinflating assets. I mean, crypto's back to 100K. Or it's back. It's at 100K, which is insane. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna get a lot of heat for it, but you know, the mania is starting again. All right. You know, you got that Haktua girl pulling that scam. You know, it just reminds me of other crypto scams. You know, which usually in terms of a short-term top might indicate that, to be quite honest with you, but I'm not going to call that. You know, I own a little bit of it. You know, diversification's key, but and then also in terms of, I mean, I've heard that the Vancouver mayor is talking about they're exploring whether to accept crypto or Bitcoin as a form of payment for things like property taxes. So you know, that's, again, some of those things are pretty you know, sometimes they're an indication of a top being near, you know, because everyone's so extremely bullish of a particular asset. That's why they're going to they're cutting into this. So granted, our economy is bad. It really is not great. But like I said, the central bank has got such an issue because a lot of that money is going to flow into just the assets. And then we've got a GST holiday going on right now, like a goods and services tax holiday. I think that's supposed to try to stimulate the economy, but it's for like just weird items. It's not on everything across the board. They're just selected items. So that's one thing. And then federal government was mauling a $250 check to everyone who essentially works. But then the retirees got angry about that, and then they scrapped that. And also we have our it's our economic statement that's going to be released on Monday. And that is supposed to be a let's say our government isn't the most fiscally responsible. So that's probably going to hammer the loonie as well. Our finance minister has been delaying that for a long time. There's been a lot of questions asked to her about that, but she's kind of brushed that off several times. So that should be interesting as well. And again, this is why diversification is a key. Sorry, now we're, this is College and Bay, as you can see here. And also condo prices as well in Toronto have started declining now. I think people are starting to release what they can't afford, but plus also units keep going up. You just got so much more units coming up. I know they're talking about new starts on projects have literally stopped. Well, that's probably because no one's going to buy them, right? Because prices are going down. They talk about, you know, I know, you know, certain parties talk about it like that means it's a future crisis, but I hate to tell you this, what if a lot of people leave? Let's say, for instance, we have a change of government. Let's just say, I'm not saying one way or the other we do, but let's just say we do, right? And let's say that government, okay, has basically a go ahead to basically you know, quote unquote fix things, right? Where prices come down, and you know they don't have that political weight put to them. Oh, this is nice. I think this lights up, by the way. Yeah. Then, you know, they can actually put in place policies where prices come down, and guess what? We've got more affordable housing then, right? Especially these condos. Like our city, we have so many condos, it's ridiculous. It really is. And for agents out there, I mean, guys, if you keep these prices up, or you encourage them to keep them up, you realize the transaction volumes are going to go down. You're not going to get the commission, right? So, if the motivation is money, which, let's be honest, a lot of the time it is, you know what? If prices came down and lots of people started actually buying and actually moving and etc., your commission structures would actually, your volumes would go up, and then thus you may get less commission per sale, but you're gonna actually get overall more commission, right? So I'm not saying we should do it to support the real estate agents. No offense, real estate agents, but if they're looking at it from there, like before, I know I have friends who are real estate agents, and so I mean they're not bad people. They're trying to obviously they're trying to make what they can make, but at the same time not everybody has a $1 million mortgage or capability of paying $1 million mortgage. So if they keep trying to push the bar up, it's not going to work, right? This is College Park. It's a nice little area. We've got a skating rink here. How many people are skating today, though? Those guys are having lunch. But anyways, I just want to thank everybody for walking with me today. I think I'm going to keep these bite-sized. I want to wish everybody a happy holiday. In terms of the finance stuff, just keep going. Don't be overly aggressive. Like I mentioned, I think 2025 is going to be interesting because of things like the interest rate structure. I think things will happen that people aren't necessarily expecting. We are on a mortgage cliff. Just keep that in mind in Canada. Lots of people are going to be renewing. Just kind of be prepared. Plan ahead. That's the important thing. And just don't be over leveraged. Even though Canadians now are the most leveraged that they've ever been. So anyways, thanks for walking with me. My name is Winston. If you are a visitor or someone who's planning to move here, or you just enjoy the content, I thank you for watching. Hope you got something positive out of it. Happy holidays again, and I will see you in the next walk. Bye-bye.